Gintama. This is the fourth season of our beloved, fun-to-earth, and bewildering anime, Gintama. When it comes to sequels, it is often unclear whether it will live up to the quality of its previous installments, and in the case of the fourth season of Gintama, fans can be assured it maintains its defining traits. There continues to be a great variety in the comedy offered, as well as its share of arguably one of the best consequent, serious arcs in the entire series so far, expanding greatly upon the setting itself, as well as its cast of characters. However, it must be mentioned that it comes with a slight controversy amongst the fans, the main concern being the inevitable conclusion the series is heading to, and with that, losing in the process some of its main charm, the comedy, which mainly affects the last third of the season. Regardless of said matter, Gintama delivers in all of its main aspects in a very satisfying manner, where viewers can observe the culmination of the author's experience in the different aspects the anime has to offer. Story: Gintoki, Shinpachi, and Kagura return as the fun-loving but broke members of the Yorizuya team. Living in an alternate reality Edo, where swords are prohibited and alien overlords have conquered Japan, they try to thrive on doing whatever work they can get their hands on. However, Shinpachi and Kagura still haven't been paid. Does Jinchan really spend all the cash playing pachinko? Meanwhile, when Gintoki drunkenly staggers home one night, an alien spaceship crashes nearby. A fatally injured crew member emerges from the ship and gives Gintoki a strange, clock-shaped device, warning him that it is incredibly powerful and must be safeguarded. Mistaking it for his alarm clock, Gintoki proceeds to smash the device the next morning and suddenly discovers that the world outside his apartment has come to a standstill. With Kagura and Shinpachi at his side, he sets off to get the device fixed, though, as usual, nothing is ever that simple for the Yorizuya team. Filled with tongue-in-cheek humor and moments of heartfelt emotion, Gintama's fourth season finds Gintoki and his friends facing both their most hilarious misadventures and most dangerous crisis yet. Characters: Gintama's characters are well-rounded. Nobody is perfect. In fact, some of the characters are really gross that it may seem impossible to love them at first, but given the time, they are all endearing in their own ways. I mean, I can sympathize with a gorilla stalker that sometimes walk around naked and a gross homeless old man who seem to have no ambition in life. My other favorites include the clumsy leader of a rebellious faction nicknamed Nobleman of Fury, who keeps an alien, duck, as a pet, an inhumanely strong little girl with a weird accent who always eats like there's no tomorrow, and a police officer who should have been arrested for exposing everyone with secondhand smoke and for ruining all the good foods in this world with his disgusting mayonnaise addiction. The new characters this season are also memorable, but what hits me the most is the development of all the supporting characters. We've known them for 250-plus episodes, and we very much already knew their personality traits. However, Sorachi gradually exposed bits by bits of those characters, so what I feel that watching Gintama is not about the characters growing, but me knowing them better. I don't know if this makes sense or not, but watching Gintama feels like knowing your friends better in life instead of rooting for a celebrity you've only seen on TVs. So, when they're hurt or something bad happened to them, the feels hit me as if something happened to someone I hold dear. So yeah, the supporting characters in Gintama are too good that they can probably lead their own series. That being said, the MC is by no means being overshadowed by them. Gintoki is deservedly the leader of the bunch, and this season just cemented the fact. There are many instances where Gintoki shines as the best shounen MC I've ever seen, both because his persona and how he deals with his relationship with other characters. He handled all the cliché shounen tropes in a surprising manner that keeps me rooting for him. There's one moment in this season when it's shown that he's really emotionally strong and mature, and that was something I rarely saw in Shonen Jump's heroes. Gintoki, though, has always been a contradiction. He had always been annoyingly talkative, but actually he rarely said anything important. He always seemed greedy, but when we think about it, he is actually very selfless. In this season, I feel that Gintoki had opened up and showing his true self more. He's talking about his past more, and he's also openly expressing his wishes. All in all, his relationship with all the characters, especially with his Yorizuya family and the Shinsengumi, is the highlight for me in this season. Animation and sound. The animation in Gintama was surprisingly consistent and well done considering the fact that it aired for a whole year. However, where it excelled was in its action scenes. The fights were incredibly dynamic and fast-paced, accurate as well as fluid and detailed, never leaving any viewer bored throughout its entire duration. This, however, has a cost to it, the background suffering in various instances from poor quality character models, and the occasional still image that are displayed throughout the series. As for the art style itself, nothing new, it remains with the same standard as the previous seasons. Character models are very simple as well, yet varied enough to easily distinguish its cast. What, however, stands out is the selection of soundtrack for the different scenes and atmospheres the anime was trying to portray. The usual tunes for the more relaxed and comedic moments, whereas for the serious moments the studio pulled out a great variety of soundtracks that matched wonderfully with the setting. Metal songs, rock songs, gloomy sounds, or the usage of percussion instruments which serve to inspire suspense and tension from the viewer, further enhancing the whole experience the show has to offer. Naturally, the voice actors are of great importance as well, which retained their previous ones. Sugita Tamazaku as Gintoki, godlike voice of Wakamoto Norio, or Tachiki Fumihiko as Hasegawa, which greatly enhanced the character's personality, and with that, the comedy as well. Watch it. Overall, the fourth season of Gintama was overall a fantastic experience, which I personally doubted to be able to surpass that of its previous seasons, yet was pleasantly surprised. It managed to maintain its variety in jokes, the references and such, as well as displaying one of the greatest subsequent stories-driven arcs with great characterization contained within. This was all accompanied with a great usage of the soundtrack, as well as the fantastic action scenes. It must be said that it did not reach the final conclusion, as the manga is still ongoing, and there were some chapters from the manga left out. This mainly affected the comedy parts. This does not mean Gintama has no flaws. It does, and quite some in fact. There are some episodes that either were too repetitive on its theme to the point of being annoying, as well as the infamous episode where they literally turned into shit. This was rather distasteful and off-putting for obvious reasons. Another problem that arises with the series arcs are the integration of some of its characters. These are either at times useless/helpless for such situations, yet miraculously survive, or they're included just for the sake of it. Other issue that fans may have with the series is the fact that due to its inevitable conclusion, the anime has gone past the point of no turning back. This in turn meant that the last third of the series had hardly any comedy in it, which may be an issue for some, as the comedy aspect is one of the main charms of Gintama. All in all, despite the above-mentioned problems, I still love the series as a whole and consider it to be the best comedy anime I have watched so far. I have blurted out in laughter a great number of times, which is the whole point of comedy. It is very rare to find a series that can maintain this type of quality for over 300 episodes. For anyone who hasn't tried out this sequel yet, I can highly recommend in checking it out, as it provides both great comedy and expansion upon the setting. Thank you for subscribing to the channel and liking the video.